Italy Part 2 is the second episode of the 5th season of Everybody Loves Raymond. This is directed by Gary Halvorson, and as always there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts, but honestly I don't have a lot to say. I didn't like it. I thought it was completely unnecessary. I really enjoyed the first part, and I liked it so much I thought, yeah, this makes sense that it's a two-parter, but to be honest, I think the only reason it's a two-parter is so they could get the most out of their money, because obviously it's going to cost a lot to fly everybody there and to film there, so I understand making it so that they can get the most for their money, but it's just incredibly boring. There is one bit that I liked, one thing about it, and that's Ray, and I'll talk about Ray in a moment. It starts off, though, we're still in Rome, Debra needs to rest, Marie's not happy that Debra's resting, Ray's just not happy in general, and Debra is not being very nice to him, but I understand. She's getting very frustrated that Ray is being grumpy and moody and kind of ruining things. So Ray shouts at her, "I will not be a pain in anyone's ass anymore." And Ray Romano's facial expression at that point was just absolutely fantastic. We're then back at the house. Robert comes in, he's singing, he's happy spending time with Stefánia despite her father, and then we have a nice walk with Ray and Marie, and this is kind of the bit, really the only bit that I liked, where Marie goes into a store, I think it was a butcher's or something, so Ray is outside, and he actually finally allows himself to open his eyes to his surroundings, and he's no longer clouded, or his vision is no longer clouded by his bad mood, as he starts to actually enjoy the delights of the world and the people around him, and he's picking flowers or buying flowers and he gives them to Debra, and it's a really lovely moment, and I really liked that progression for Ray, and I thought there was a lot of value in seeing how Ray responded once he finally allowed himself to actually enjoy the vacation, and it was really lovely, and I thought that worked really, really well. And then we end with Robert and Stefánia, and honestly, it's not that great. The ending, it's fine. It's not bad, but I just feel like this was incredibly boring. But Ray was really beautiful. His attitude was so beautiful to see that sudden shift. And I feel like, honestly, we probably could have condensed the first part a little bit and managed to fit that in there. So I really don't think it needed to be two-parters. But as I said, it's going to cost a lot to go to Italy and to film everything there. So I understand why they want to get the most out of it. And certainly for the cast, I understand that they're probably going to want to spend as much time there as possible, assuming they also had free time as well, which I'd like to think they did. So I understand it, but I don't think it was necessary. Italy Part 2 isn't actually that great, but Ray is. Ray is really great. In general, not a strong episode. I understand why it exists, and I did enjoy Ray's character development. But that's it. That's all I have to say. Other than, I guess, some of the scenery, absolutely beautiful to look at. But in general, I didn't think it was that great. Interestingly, according to IMDb, this episode won an Emmy for the outstanding multi-camera sound mixing for a series or special, which is actually quite interesting because I wasn't going to mention this, but there's one point, I think it's in the first scene, Debra's talking and the sound kind of dips. They're filming outside, of course, and the sound of her voice dips a little bit as if there's a little glitch in the audio. Could just be on Amazon Prime, but I did actually notice that, but I wasn't going to mention it because it's such well, I didn't put it in my notes, first of all, and it's such a tiny, nitpicky thing that it really wasn't worthy of note. But now that I know it has an Emmy for multi-camera sound mixing, and there was an issue with the sound, very, very, very small issue with the sound, then maybe it was just on Amazon Prime. It certainly wouldn't surprise me if there were small glitches inserted into the audio when things are uploaded to Prime. But either way, not important. The point is, clearly it won an Emmy, which, I guess, congratulations to the episode. I didn't love it. There are some good moments. I don't think it needed to exist, but I understand why. And ultimately, I guess Italy Part 2, it's fine.